Let's pivot a little bit and let's go back to your military foundation. Your Air Force experience took you to Central America during the Contra conflict, to England during the Libya mission, and all over the world. But you turned down a $10,000 reenlistment bonus because they wouldn't transfer you to Hawaii.
I'm
Looking back,
hard-headed. Come on. You
looking
got to give me
back,
that.
what was leaving the military? It was one of those, okay, you said it, hard-headed decisions that you mentioned. Or was it exactly really what should have happened anyway? So talk to me about that time and how did you get in that place where they're waving $10,000 in front of you to stay?
I was a Airman First Class, and they had an opportunity where if you participate in Big Brothers Big Sisters, get involved in the Air Force Honor Guard. I'm involved in bowling, so the squadron first sergeant wanted me on his team, and I always made sure that I was available working on the aircraft. And I made my third stripe early, and due to that situation, I thought, man, this would be great. I'd like to go out, and when you're within, I think it's 9 or 10 months of your reenlistment, they allow you to fill out this thing known as a dream sheet. So I filled out the dream sheet and I wanted to go to Hawaii. I had heard everything about it. I watched movies. I thought this is where I'd like to go. So I was number one on the list at our base. And when I sewed on that third stripe, I went down to check to see what my status was, and I was no longer on the list. I said, what's going on here? And they said, because you made Senior Airman early, you're going to be a sergeant here shortly. And we're short on sergeants at this base in your classification code for the aircraft maintenance. Okay. And that's when they asked me about my reenlistment. I said, if I can't go to Hawaii, I'm not going to reenlist. And they said, we're offering a $10,000 bonus because there's a shortage of mechanics at this time. And I said, if you send me to Hawaii, I'll be more than happy to reenlist. And they said, no, we can't do that. And I said, okay, then I'm getting out. And my thought process was, I'll live on a park bench and learn how to sleep with my mouth closed because pigeons poop in your mouth. So you got to be careful with that. And then I made pizzas for a little while. Started working out at Gary Airport, working on airplanes out there. And then I got my EMP license. And that's when American Airlines came calling for me. And that's how I ended up with American Airlines.
Yeah, it flies into your total philosophy, which is, and you've always told me this, you have zero regrets. Everything works out the way it's supposed to work out. And that's a pretty remarkable perspective, especially for someone who's made some major pivots in life. But I'm curious, so you also said you learn from other people's mistakes and always try to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. So how do you balance that no regret mindset with being strategic about learning from other people?
If you put your heart and soul into things, things happen for a reason. If you sit on your butt, then nothing's going to happen. And there's a reason why nothing happened because you didn't do anything. So everything happens for a reason. And you are where you are because that's where you're supposed to be, where you are. And a lot of it has to do with what you decide to do with your life. I try to surround myself with people that are more intelligent than me because you become your environment. If you surround yourself with people that have no ambition, people that are negative all the time, you're going to fall into that trap. So I try to surround myself with positivity and people that have more experience, and they generally give you advice because they don't want to hold anybody back. So that's where I've learned to give other people advice and help build other people up.